Retire in New Hampshire now if you answer yes to all 6 questions. There are 6 questions I ask every retiree thinking about New Hampshire's Lakes region. Answer yes to all 6 and you're ready to make the move. After 23 years plus of working and living in New Hampshire, I've watched the same pattern play out every time. Stay with me to find out if you're ready to make the move. First question, can you actually afford to retire in New Hampshire? People hear property taxes and they shut the whole thing down before they ever run the real numbers. That's the wrong place to start. New Hampshire has no state income tax, so your Social Security, your pension, your 401k money, your IRA money, it all goes straight to your pocket. As of January of last year, your investment income is tax-free here too, and there's no sales tax either. Now say you're coming from Massachusetts, you're paying state income tax on every dollar you pull out of your retirement accounts. You're often paying so much in income tax back home that you come out ahead here, even in a New Hampshire town with middle-of-the-road taxes. And property taxes change from town to town, so if you want lower real estate taxes, along with all the other tax perks, we can find you a town that does just that. I spend most of my time in the Lakes region, and other members of our team focus on the mountains and the seacoast, so just give us a call. But all of that's to say, run the math and the whole picture flips, I assure you. New Hampshire isn't the pricey one most of the time. And speaking of comparisons, when we get to the cost of staying put a few questions from now, that's the part that stops people cold. Before that, here's the question that hits closer to home. Have you been putting your life on hold? How many times have you said you'll do that thing when you retire? How many years has your resolution been, I want to be more active, and then you never do? Well, New Hampshire is going to give you the perfect conditions to finally keep those promises you make to yourself. Summer here means boating, kayaking, and grabbing lunch on the water on a random weekday. Fall brings the leaves, the hikes, the apple orchards. Winter means skiing at Gunstock and snowshoeing, and spring resets the whole thing. New Hampshire runs on very well-defined seasons. Every 3 months feels like a brand new chapter. You can see it and you can feel it. People move here and finally start doing all the stuff they kept saying they'd get to next year. Before we move on, if you're picturing your next chapter in the Lakes region and you want a right-sized home that fits how you really want to live, that's what my team does every day. My contact info is in the description below. All right, now let's get back. Next question. Is your current environment making you less healthy? Think about how you feel after a long gray winter stuck inside. Now picture the opposite. This one isn't about whether you're healthy enough to retire. The real question is where you live is now working against you. So traffic, long commutes, months indoors, all of the stuff wears on you over time. I'm sure you can point one of these out as a huge thorn in your side. You'll be glad to know that the Lakes region is built for being outside. Lake Winnipesaukee has over 300 miles of shoreline. The White Mountains sit about an hour north. You've got pickleball, golf, trails, ski slopes, all of the things basically in your backyard. People notice the improvement in the quality of life as soon as they step out of the car when they get here. Because the sunshine, the vitamin D, having the trees, and winter as part of your everyday life takes a huge chunk of the stress right out. There is something that will come back when we take things to a more emotional side, because I'm sure your family wants to see you well. I know how hard it can be to move states and then leave them behind, but I'll get to that in a bit. Anyways, I've watched people get outside more without even trying because they want to. As nice of a house you can manage to find here, you'll want to be out of it as much as you want to enjoy it. The place does a lot of the work for you, and you can't put a price on that. But now, let's move on to the next question. This one turns the whole talk around toward your wallet. Is it getting harder to justify staying where you are? Here's the question people are afraid to ask themselves. Is it getting harder to justify staying where you are? Somebody leaving Boston's suburbs is paying state income tax, state tax, and high property taxes all at once. Take that same budget and bring it up here, you'll get a bigger house, more land, and often a spot on the water. So what does that look like? Homes inland around the Lakes region run from the 400s to the mid 500s. Updated or newer homes climb into the 5 to 800 range. And lake access usually lands the 600s to over $1 million. I say though, there aren't many homes for sale, especially near the water, so the ones priced right move fast. For a lot of folks, this move isn't a lifestyle change at all. It's the thing that makes retirement happen on their timeline. And there's an emotional side to this that catches people by surprise. The worry that they're leaving people they love behind. That's right where we're headed next. Will you stay connected to the people you love? The thing I hear more than anything else is we'd be moving away from family. And my next question is always the same. Where is your family? Boston's under 2 hours away. New York's 4 to 5 hours. Portland, Providence, Hartford, all easy to get to. Even then, if you're not willing to take the drive, the Lakes region is a place that people want to come to. Imagine how nice it would be to enjoy summers on the lake, fall weekends with the leaves, with everyone. I mean, your family doesn't need any convincing to drive up. I've definitely had distant cousins I'm barely familiar with invite themselves to stay a few weeks over here. Your house will be more crowded than you'll think. And up here, connection looks different. Back where you came from, most folks are busy. Here, folks are busy too, but they're doing things that they love. There's a real bond, whether you're golfing with a new group or hiking with a club. If you love doing something outside, I'm sure you'll find a bunch of people with the same interest right away. In New Hampshire, you're connecting through how you live. And I definitely made some great friends by just going outside. Okay, so that's 5. How is your score up to now? Leave it down in the comments. Now let's move on to the last question, the one most people skip, even though it's the one that decides whether all of this works. Do you know what you want your days to look like? A morning walk on the dock, a stop at the farmer's market, an afternoon on the boat, dinner at a lakeside spot where you know the owner by name. This can be a random day here, when you decide to leave the house just because. The folks who struggle in retirement usually only plan the way out, but they have no idea of what they're going to do with the free time once they finally have it. And the towns offer all of those and more. Meredith with its waterfront and town docks, Wolfboro, the oldest summer resort in America. These are places with history where people know each other and each other's family. There are also charities, clubs, and groups up here run by retirees. This is a great way to make new friends. These people are using the gifts they picked up over a lifetime, whether it's accounting, marketing, or music, turning that into a way to help out and still feel that sense of getting something done. Some retirees end up busier than they were back at home, but this time they're doing something they love. The ones who do well up here were looking for a life, or rather the next chapter for them. And this is one of the best places in the country to find one. 6 questions, and the people who say yes to all 6 are deciding how long they're willing to wait to start the life they already want. If you're ready to figure out which town, which lake, which lifestyle fits you, shoot me an email at adam@thedowgroup.com today. I work with a top grade team and I'm in charge of the Lakes region. But if you prefer the mountains or coast, we have agents for that too. And if you love the idea of a waterfront, but you don't want your dream place turning into a money pit, the video I've linked walks through the 6 home mistakes that cost buyers tens of thousands after they close. Check that one out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.